So, Sega Sammy just released their financial report, and you know what it turns out? It turns out that Sonic Boom was not only a disaster, I mean, keep in mind, this game has been a disaster for a while already, and we've already known how much of a disaster it's been. The 3DS installment has been pretty controversial with both fans who've given it a mixed review when it comes to user score despite the high amount of positive user reviews, and of course the critics who've given it a 47, which is about the normal Sonic game review range considering how many of them seem to get poor critical scores. So this isn't out of the ordinary, but it is pretty bad for Sega who wants to make the Sonic franchise something bigger. In fact, several years ago, the COO of Sega Europe actually said that merchandising deals could make Sonic as big and as iconic as Hello Kitty is, and yet so far Sonic Boom has failed to do this. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric did much worse, however, not only earning a low by Sonic standards Metacritic score to the point where many reviewers were just bashing it, but among the fans as well, this game has earned a reputation of being the next Sonic 06 with even fewer redeeming values than Sonic 06. I'm not even joking about this. But it gets even worse. While Sonic 06 at least tried to look good in its pre-release material, Sonic Boom for the Wii U not only had its demo held back until after the game came out, but all the demos released to say E3 and the like were train wrecks, with many people not only giving negative feedback on the demos in an industry where much of the feedback is, this is a game, here it is. There was also a ton of stuff commented about the frame rate and the general unpolished state of the game, as usually game developers would rather fake this something for E3 than send something that is so unfinished like Sonic Boom was. I mean, just take a look at the industry right now. And I'm not even counting the guy who got his early copy and then uploaded gameplay footage, and it spread like wildfire on the internet to the point where by the time Sega sent their DMCAs and it got processed with YouTube, the damage had already been done, that this game was a rushed game just like what was shown at E3. It had not improved one bit. I'm guessing that program to improve the scores of Sonic games by removing the badly performing ones really helped improve the brand, right? Because after they announced that program, they must have gone back to making crappy games. Because Sonic Boom was a train wreck even worse than them when it came to scores and user reviews. Now, with all this in perspective, is it any surprise that the game managed to sell only 490,000 copies on both platforms combined worldwide, especially when compared to other Sonic games such as Lost World, Generations, All-Stars Racing, Transformed, etc.? But is it also a surprise that Sega had to lay off 300 people and pretty much close their American division because this game was a train wreck? I mean, here's the thing. Sega has not been doing what customers want them to, and they're paying the price. I mean, I know for a fact that Sega doesn't even give a damn about their own forum, despite the endless amount of people asking in the Phantasy Star Online 2 subforum, when's it going to be out? It's still not out. People are just playing the Japanese version now instead of waiting for the non-existent American version, which was announced and is pretty much vaporware at this point because nothing has come of it ever since. And now Sega has just closed their North American division pretty much, making them lose over 300 employees. They've also said they're not going to release console games anymore. And here's the thing. Instead of releasing what people wanted, like I said, Phantasy Star Online 2 along with Valkyria Chronicles 3 and that one Yazuka game which is getting localized by Sony and not Sega, Sega hasn't released what people are wanting, instead releasing crap like Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. Is it any wonder that they're losing money, that their games are selling poorly, actually like ones like Sonic, because Alien Isolation sold a ton, at least so far? But the moral of the story here is, make good games and you won't end up like Sega is now, or like THQ, Atari, Acclaim, Midway, and others did in the past. And by Atari, I'm referring to the modern day Atari. Like, the one that used to be Infogrames, before that GT Interactive or whatever. Yeah, I'm referring to that Atari, people. And considering how the one person in charge of the Sonic Boom project left the forums when people kept asking him critical questions on the game, it says a lot about Sega and who they are run by. People who do not give a crap about the consumer, but instead about the bottom line and how much they can milk their customers. That's all that needs to be said, people. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.